Tucker Carlson is up to something, a big something. I knew this was going to happen. I actually, as soon as he left Fox, I said this here on the Dr. Taylor Marshall podcast. He is going to start his own media empire. He is arguably the biggest name, other than someone like Ben Shapiro, with the media reach. He announced he was going to start doing videos on Twitter, and that got me scratching my head, scratching my beard. Why would you do free videos on Twitter? Like, what's the gain? I know he has a lot of money. He's very wealthy, but he has this influence. He has this scope to his message and to his audience to simply just post it on Twitter. Well, the Wall Street Journal today shared something about what Tucker Carlson is up to with his old college roommate. What's better than that? A new business with your college roomie. Here's what's going on. Former Fox News host Tucker Carlson and former White House advisor Neil Patel are seeking to raise funds to start a new media company that would potentially use Twitter as its backbone, according to people familiar with the matter. Thus says the Wall Street Journal. And this is the big topic. This is the number 5 story on Wall Street Journal today. Because people want to know, where can I get my Tucker? Where do I get my Tucker Carlson? The new company would be anchored by longer versions of free videos that Carlson has been posting regularly on Twitter shortly after his departure from Fox News. But these would ultimately be driven by subscriptions, some of the people say. And Tucker Carlson and Patel are looking to raise hundreds of millions of dollars to fund this new media company. Now, I want to pause here and talk a little bit about Twitter and what's going on in the social media world. It's no secret that the most restrictive media platform is Meta. All right, Facebook, Instagram. If people get canceled, they usually get canceled there because of the policies in place by you know who, Mr. Z, right? That is the most restrictive area. And then after that, you have the environment of Google, which includes YouTube. And then you have Twitter, which has used to be very restrictive. Now it's the least restrictive. And what you've been seeing happening is YouTube is trying to get into the Twitter space with their program. It's kind of lame. I think it's called Threads. Facebook Meta has been trying to get into the game with the Reels, with the long form video content, and they haven't done a very good job on that. Video creators like me, yes, streaming on those platforms, but they don't do as well as YouTube. And so what you've seen is Rumble come up. There was BitChute. Now there's Rumble, and a lot of people are very successful over at Rumble. For example, Bannon's War Room. And I think Andrew Tate is over there. I think Russell Brand is doing a major push towards Rumble. Why? Tucker Carlson knows that within the universe of Meta, within the universe of Google, YouTube, he's not going to make it. The only hope left long-term, as it seems in 2023, is Twitter and Rumble. And Rumble as a user interface, both for content creators like myself and people watching it, it's a little more clunky. It's a little more difficult to navigate. And so there's definitely a ripe opportunity for someone to come along and use Twitter, which is already a massively used app. It has great user interface. You don't have to learn anything. It's just you follow people and you see your feed. And I really think Elon Musk has made it so much better. And I think Elon knows if he could get into the video streaming world, he could possibly overtake the other big dogs. And with Tucker, he can do that. What else have we seen on Twitter that's promising for Tucker Carlson? Well, Matt Walsh had an amazing documentary, What is a Woman?, that they put on Twitter with immense success. Once again, showing that Twitter is becoming an alternative avenue for creators. You also had Elon Musk reach out to Jim Caviezel, Eduardo Verástegui, Alejandro Monteverde to stream Sound of Freedom, which was being restricted by Disney. So, as conservative voices rise up, as there needs to be an alternative in the media, people are navigating and starting to figure it out. And it seems that Twitter, currently under Elon Musk, it's not perfect, could be a great streaming service. And as a matter of fact, right now, I'm streaming on Twitter right now. Howdy, Twitter. What's going on? I'm streaming on YouTube as well. But we're all kind of wondering where's this going to go. And I think by Tucker Carlson pivoting and creating some media company that's integrated with Twitter as a distributor, that could be a really big game changer. Now, Carlson is teamed up with Patel. This says they were roommates at Trinity College at Hartford, Connecticut, where they graduated in 1991. And in 2010, they teamed up to found the conservative Daily Caller news site, which Patel still controls. So there could be a link in with what they're doing there with the Daily Caller, which would be right there next to the Daily Wire. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? They have lined up financiers, lawyers, and media strategists to work on the new company, according to the people familiar with the effort. Carlson and Patel's new company would also have its own website and mobile app and is exploring other homes beyond Twitter for its content as well, some people said. Speaking of alternative forms of distribution, we've seen great success with the Sound of Freedom with Angel Studios. Again, conservative voices bypassing, say, Fox, Disney, whatever, and creating their own distribution avenues. Once this infrastructure continues to be built out, it's going to be very difficult to restrict it. People will no longer be bordered in by the distribution of Facebook or the Google universe. And this has to be terrifying for these groups, because these groups from day one were politically aligned with the left. You saw Facebook really got involved with the Obama campaign. That was one of the main seismic shifts in political campaign strategy. The Republicans were not even ready to start doing political campaigns, political ads, political influence through social media platforms. Now it's a given. Early on, Facebook was able to pioneer that for Obama. The Wall Street Journal says other big stars who have left TV have built thriving digital businesses, but sometimes with smaller audiences and less influence than they had before. They don't name a name here, but I think of someone like Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck was very mainstream, and he's built The Blaze, and he's been very successful. He has his own tight audience. The same thing goes for the folks over at Daily Wire. You got Ben Shapiro, you got Matt Walsh, you got Michael Knowles, you got Candace Owens. They've also been able to build their own online channel, their online voice. Talks about people moving over to Rumble, which is very, I think it's a good thing. I just don't, as a creator, again, I think that needs to be refined, especially the search engine element of finding content on Twitter. Twitter on Thursday launched an ad revenue sharing program for creators as an example of the company's efforts to expand its offerings for creators. That is key for Twitter. If you have big names coming over, I mean, that's one thing Rumble does pretty well, and YouTube does okay, is they're able to create revenue for these mega content creators. I mean, you had someone like Joe Rogan, who's a mega content creator, #1 podcast, and he has enough influence where he just completely gets off YouTube and goes straight into Spotify. Was that wise? I mean, he got like, what was it, 100 million for that? But would it have been better long term for Joe Rogan to create JoeRoganDaily.com? Perhaps, maybe. We'll see if Tucker Carlson is successful in pursuing it. It says Carlson team is wary of relying on YouTube for distribution because they believe its content is likely to be censored there, a spokesman for Carlson said. So this is really about finding safe avenues to distribute. And I think Tucker Carlson will bring attention, money, energy into those spaces. And I think that discourse, that freedom of discourse for these topics will ultimately be beneficial. And as a content creator myself, I'm pretty excited. I think it'll be awesome. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like this show and make sure you hit subscribe to get more great content. I hope you all have a great weekend. And remember, our Lord Jesus Christ is you're the light of the world and the salt of the earth. So go out there and be salty. God bless and Godspeed.